welcome to my brand new spanking channel, all about life with MS, which if you're the not so lucky person to have this wonderful diagnosis, then hey, welcome to the clan. I wanted to do a channel because it's one of those things where I've kind of lived with this. I was diagnosed almost 9 years ago, and it's not always been a nice smooth slope. It doesn't end for anybody. MS is just not one of those things. But one of my good friends was diagnosed a couple of years ago, and when she got diagnosed I was like, right, fine, do this, this, this and this, and I didn't think any more about it. And then I met up with a load of her family, and she got married the other day, and they all just went on about how much I'd helped her, and I never even thought about it. It was just one of those things I just kind of went, right, yeah, do this and this. And it got me thinking that maybe I've been living with this and I kind of control it well, and I have a life where I get on with it, and maybe I can share that with you guys to try and help others. So that's why I'm doing it, really. And it's also, MS is one of those things where there's not that many people with it, although you'd be amazed how many people do have it. But it's a kind of community where if you've got it and you just need to come have a moan, or you want to ask a question like, I got this, is this MS or is it something else? Because there's always that, is it MS or is it something else, question that goes in your head when you have a new symptom. So I just wanted to do like a channel that you could come in and just be part of and share, and hopefully we'll get to know each other and that sort of thing. So as it's my first one, let me first introduce you. My name's Fliss. It's short for Felicity, so you're welcome to use either. Please just never call me Flick. Pet hate. But yeah, most people call me Fliss. Like I said, I've been diagnosed with MS 9 years ago, almost. It was February, I remember it well. It took a while to get diagnosed. My first symptoms were probably about 10 months before that. So let's go right back to the beginning. So back in the day when I was 27, I went to work and I had really funny vision, and I thought, maybe a bit weird, maybe I'm getting migraine, because you can have those kind of visiony kind of things. So it kind of got a bit progressively worse during the day, and I went, right, it's fine, we'll go home and take something, we'll see how it goes. Next day I woke up completely double vision. I was seeing two of everything, and it was like one thing was here and one thing was way over here. It was not like just a little double vision, really double vision. I was like, okay, this is worrying. Okay, let's try the opticians, because they can do that photo and they look at the back of your eye. If I've got a brain tumour, surely they will see it. So I went to the opticians, booked in, and they couldn't see anything. They were like, no, it's fine, just go home and rest, you're probably a bit tired. I'm like, okay. So I went home and it didn't get any better, so I thought, right, I'll go to the doctors. I went to the doctors and they were like, yeah, did you go to the optician? I'm like, yes. And they're like, okay, that's a little bit strange. Well, what we'll do is we'll just go to work, obviously don't drive, and we'll contact you if you need to see anybody. Okay, fine. Obviously, this minute I'm getting quite nervous and quite tense. The doctor pulls those kind of faces a little bit like, so yeah, I started getting worried, and I'm kind of going, oh my god, brain tumor, I'm gonna die. And you know how your mind just goes off on its own track. So I went to work, and literally within half an hour, they phoned me and went, you need to go to hospital. And obviously at this point, meltdown. I'm just in the car crying, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I've got a brain tumour, what's going on? I can't see anything, I can barely walk in a straight line. But I went kind of like one eye over, like hobbling, trying to just do like this kind of walking. I got there and they'd ran so many tests. I used to live in Melton Mowbray, which is like countryside. So I had to go into Leicester. Ex-boyfriend of mine took me. That's a whole new kettle of fish. We'll get to that at one point. But yeah, he took me, and they took me into CT scan straight away. This is after like putting stuff in my eye to widen it also. So I was like walking around with double and blurry vision. But they gave me CT scan, and that came all clear, thankfully. So they were like, okay, so it's not a brain tumour, we can rule that out. And I was like, oh, relief, but also still kind of going, well, what is it? I can't see. And they were like, it's okay, we're going to give you an MRI. So I had an MRI and I went home. They went, okay, rest, come back tomorrow, see an eye specialist, which I did. And they kind of gave me like some stick-on lenses I had to buy glasses for, which basically corrected my vision. But as soon as I took my glasses off, it was like double again. I so clearly remember it was 9 years ago, but it was like, where's the penguin on the wall? Because it's like quite often this happens with kids, apparently there's double vision, but they just kind of grow out of it. But anyway, so I had to track this penguin. I'm there with all these kids and I'm tracking this penguin. I'm going, yeah, no, double, yeah, fine. So the game is completely diverse. Sorry. It seemed like yesterday, although it was like nearly 9 years ago. So they had this lens, and this double vision must have lasted about a month, maybe 6 weeks. But I remember waking up, and every morning I would wake up and I would open my eyes and I'd look up at the lamp on the ceiling, and that was my test to see how much my vision had moved. But I remember going back to the eye consultation once it was better, and they were like, okay, so what happens is like the muscles in your eye relaxed and this, and you know, there's lots of things that cause it. It could be MS, could be this, could be that, and obviously they just dumped that on me, like it could be MS. My only experience of MS before my own experience was my mum used to work in a care home, and it was a care home for people with really progressed diseases. So there was people with motor neurone who could only blink their eyes, there was people with Parkinson's who were just, you know, shaking, couldn't feed themselves, and there was MS with people in wheelchairs that had lost the ability to walk, lost the ability to function, and you know, and that's the only experience I'd had of it. So when they drop that on you, just like matter of fact, like, it could be that, my world just, I remember just literally going home and sobbing because I was just like, that's it, I'm not going to be able to walk, my life's over. And I had a bit of luck in that my diagnosis, although it took 10 months, I had the fortune to be a patient of Dr. Kendall, who's now retired, but he was an MS specialist. He'd been there with the first ever MRI, and he knew his stuff. He would talk for ages, like could go on random tangents, but he'd go on for ages, and he basically went, yeah, you pretty much got MS, but we just have to do a lumbar puncture to check it. So I had the lumbar puncture, hand on heart. It's not bad for some people, but it was one of the worst experiences of my life. I agreed to have a student doctor, and I feel for them, I do, but my vertebrae is quite close together, so I already, instead of lying on my side, they couldn't get the needle in, so then I had to sit up, like lean over, so my head was lower, and it took them 3 attempts to get the needle in, and then when they finally did, I finally got up, and they were like, are you okay? You look like you've run a marathon. You're like completely white and sweaty. He's like, no, I'm not okay. Oh. Basically nearly passed out. It was horrendous. So that was an experience I never want to live through again. But basically that came back and went, yeah, you got MS. And you're like, okay. And then it's just like grieving. You've suddenly got this diagnosis and your life just changes like that. And I went from being somebody who was quite career driven, like I wanted to get it better, to just kind of going, doesn't matter. I don't care. I literally don't care. I just want a family. I want to live my life with my family. I don't care about all this. It's not important anymore. And that's the way I've lived ever since. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy my job. I'm an EA, but it comes with issues. Symptom-wise, I've never had double vision again. Not to say it wouldn't happen, but I have a slightly weaker eye now. Like I can't, when I'm shaving my legs, I can't like look down in one direction. It's slightly weaker now. I think that's just always going to be the case. But I've had, basically when I've had episodes, my right hand side goes numb, like all the way down. It starts at my toes and it works up and it works up and it works up, and there's places on your body that you do not want numb. They class it as nummy because if someone touches you, you can still feel them touch you, but it's numb. It's like when you've been out in the cold and you have your like your backs of your thighs feel really cold to the touch, like, but it's that nummy feeling. It's like that, but all over. So I've had that a few times now. My last one was probably the start of the year, but that was expected. Because I've got two kids, 2 beautiful children, a boy and a girl, and generally when you're pregnant, you don't have anything. It's like not having MS anymore, it's amazing. But then when you after you give birth, you have like 6 months, and then they kind of have like catch-up episodes. So I was expecting it. Luckily, I didn't have one with my first, but my second, I had it, and it was a full-blown numb. Anyway, we'll come on to all of that, but that's diagnosis. And it took me a few years to come to terms with it, and there was all a load of rubbish that went with it, and a lot of stuff that went through my head. And if you're there, just talk to me. I will try my best to help. The biggest thing that I've taken away is that don't let MS be who you are. You're not that. I have a colleague who it's kind of like leads me with meditation. He's lived with Buddhist monks and all sorts. He's an incredible man. And maybe I'll get him on here one day to do an interview. He's fantastic. But he always says, describe yourself. And you instantly go, well, I'm a mum and I'm an EA. And he goes, no, stop. That's not you. That's just things that are part of your life, but it's not you. How do you describe you? And MS is one of those things. MS isn't who you are. It's just something you've got to deal with. And don't be one of these people that lets it take over, you know? Be the person who goes, sod it, I'm going to live my life and do whatever. Like, a year or so after I was diagnosed, I did Insanity. I don't know if you know, it's like a Beachbody program where it's a real kick-ass program, it kills you. But I did it because I was like, I am not letting this beat me. I am going to do this. I don't care if I end up having an episode, I'm going to do it. And I did it. And you know what? I felt great for doing it. It was hard, and I did get more fatigue than maybe a normal person might do, because fatigue's all part of it. Who doesn't have it? But I did it, and that's the thing, is don't let it control you. Just keep going. That's what I told my friend. I was like, you know, don't let it beat you. And the other thing I told her, which I will come on to in another video, so if you are on here, please subscribe. Please come and join my little community that I'm building, because I want to go through things that help me deal with it and thrive with it. So the main thing for me is I control it with diet, and it's a fairly new thought, but I stumbled upon it by watching Dr. Terry Walls and looking at the Walls protocol. There's all sorts of different things, like the swank that controls saturated fats, but the Walls protocol, she had secondary progressive and she was in a reclining wheelchair, and by diet she's reversed it all, and she's up walking, she tours around the world doing talks and everything. She's absolutely incredible. If you ever watch this, Terry Walls, thank you from the bottom of my heart, my deepest gratitude, because you've got me, and I don't think I would be quite this healthy and having as little episodes as I do without your guidance. So thank you. So yeah, diet, just very quickly, I don't have gluten, I don't have dairy, I don't have refined sugar, and I don't have alcohol. They're my 4 main ones. I do take some vitamin supplements, but again, like I said, I'll do that in a different video. This is already going on, and I don't want to bore everybody to death in the first thing. Just an introduction, really. So yeah, there's diet controls it. I mean, I hold my hand up. I do take immunosuppressants as well, because I didn't used to. I had years of just controlling it through diet and had very little episodes. But when I've had my 2 kids, I'm now in the thought that I just want to do everything that I can to make sure I'm better for as long as I can be. So if I can do the jabs and I do the diet and it keeps me good, then I've done absolutely everything that I can do to be there for my kids and for my other half and my family. So that's why I do it, although I hate them. Again, we'll come on to medicines going forwards. But really this introduction video was just a kind of background to my diagnosis, and just to say don't give up, and don't give up hope, and keep going. Don't let it control you, don't let it rule you, don't let it be you. You are all incredible people, and you know, just live your life to the full. So that's it really. I hope it wasn't too waffly, and I hope you'll subscribe, because I want to do some really fun things, like obviously diets, like I said, a really big thing for me, and I'm an absolute free-from food junkie. I also do lots of different recipes and things, and so I'd really like to do some like reviews of free-from cooking books and free-from foods and things like that, and obviously go into a bit more detail of what I eat in a day and all that kind of thing. So it'd be great for you to subscribe, join me, and hopefully I'll chat to some of you along the way. But other than that, I hope you've had a great weekend. Lovely Sunday. I've been out for a walk with my kids and my other half. It's been lovely. So yeah, So I hope that makes sense, and see you all soon. Bye.